What's up, everyone? Ben here, coming to you from downtown Fort Worth on the eve of the semifinals of the Van Cliburn competition. And right across the street from me, Bass Performance Hall, where the 12 remaining semifinalists are about to compete for a spot in the finals. I was in the hall for every single note of the preliminary and quarterfinal rounds. And while in another video, I'll share my response to some of the amazing performances given by the 12 semifinalists across the competition, in this video, I want to pay tribute to some of the outstanding performances by performers who were eliminated before the semifinals. I've already shared some of my thoughts on Magdalene Ho's enthralling preliminary round recital, as well as my reaction to her unexpected elimination.
Did they not pick Magdalene Ho? That's very concerning and upsetting to me, actually.
I called it a snub, and I stand by that, but I do want to clarify that I don't believe there was any coordinated effort to exclude her. There is not a shred of evidence that the Cliburn jury process is anything but squeaky clean, and from my vantage point here with some behind-the-scenes access, it seems to me that they're bending over backwards to ensure fairness. A bit more on that later in this video, but suffice it to say for now that people get snubbed all the time by otherwise fair and regulated forms of collective decision-making in the world that we live in. So let's just appreciate one more time what we did get to hear from Magdalene. Here's a bit more from her darkly prayerful and mysterious performance of Franck's Prelude, Chorale, and Fugue. Besides Magdalene, the other pianist whose first round elimination sparked all kinds of comment section outrage was Ryota Yamazaki, specifically his performance of Liszt's Norma Fantasy. Now I should mention that I sat in the same seat for every performance across the first two rounds. It was in the back of the orchestra section on the left, T2. So the judges were sitting in the balcony more or less right above me. And I was a bit less keen on Ryota's Liszt at first hearing, perhaps because some of the details and subtlety didn't quite reach me in my seat. But I've since listened on live stream and heard some of the brilliant qualities people were raving about. Now, there were 6 other performances by eliminated competitors that especially impressed me, and I want to highlight. 3 who were cut after the prelims, and then another 3 who were cut after the quarterfinals. And I really encourage you to go listen to the full recitals for all 6 of these pianists on the Cliburn YouTube channel. The following commentary is taken from the long and detailed recap videos I record at the end of each day throughout the Cliburn. You can access them in full by joining my Patreon. Memberships start at just $5 a month and would support all the free YouTube content I create for the Cliburn and beyond. Just follow the link in the description for more.
Roman Fediurko, 20 years old, I think. Also very young. Another extremely mature, I thought, mature artist for a young age, Rock Sonata. This is an impassioned, full-bodied sound right from the opening giant bell cacophony. Here's a real emotional, passionate artist, a big technique, hot-blooded kind of passion, lots of energy and fire. Rahman made it all very coherent and very skillful scene changes with just nuances of timing. Tremendous power. He's not a big guy, but he made some of the biggest, healthiest sounds, I thought. And again, it's partly how he just was able to use his whole body. This guy stands up when he plays sometimes. It's wild. Ho Yoo, he played Haydn, the F minor theme and variations. Wonderful flow, dialogue between treble and bass. When he goes into these major variations, there's air and humor. It's very charming, he has shimmering ornaments. He uses finger pedal, detached sounds, selective pedal, subtle dynamic contrasts, and he's able to just differentiate a landscape of sounds, simultaneously and create dialogue and interplay. And I found it very crafty. What the music is about major and minor as modes, as keys, as ideas, and this interplay between them. And actually, sort of his performance taught me that. I liked Pedro López Salas. His Mozart, I had some arguments with two people who didn't like it. I was judging it way too much right away. I was like, where's the charm in the melody? He's just doing echo effects. But I kept listening and he kind of sold me. He plays with a clear, warm sound, sensitive to durations, and his bass line, really smart with the pedal. I just thought he had great phrasing, and did interesting things with breath and timing. Really wonderful ornaments that he sort of peppered in throughout. I just found a lot of smart and tasteful with decisions he made about what to accent and when, what to inflect. I don't know.
Now, before we get to the three remaining pianists, I did want to shout out one competitor who made the quarterfinals, walked on stage, and unfortunately had to withdraw before performing. That would be Xiaofu Ju, whose first round revel was filled with a whole landscape of interesting colors and ideas, and who also delivered a memorable and stoic performance of Janacek's sonata.
Jonathan Mamora, Mozart B minor Adagio. What Jonathan does really well is listen to the decay of every sound. He's able to play really slow music like this, and this piece can sound boring in the wrong hands. He's one of the best listeners in the competition. It was really cultivated, intelligent playing, and the way he combined and layered other voices around the decay of the sound and then just allowed things to develop from there was really special, I thought. So great Mozart. And then Liszt B minor sonata. His timing is really good. Here's a moment in the fugue that I really liked. He would hold that note as long as he could. Just always consistently shaped. The clarity of sound, the line, the instrumentation, there's dialogue between voices and layers. I just thought it was really smart playing. I don't know how he didn't go on. Go listen to his list carefully. It's really good. It's really, really good. One of the most intelligent players in the competition. Kambarov came on, who I didn't even have passing into this round. The second movement of his Beethoven actually moved me, and I'm kind of a jaded guy. I don't get moved that much, but I found it really touching. Second movement had a tenderness, a sense of wonder about the size of the universe, a slight lilt, inflections leaning on dissonances ever so slightly and subtly, gently rocking and swaying. I got goosebumps listening to it, so therefore I was more fond of it, and because I could look down and see the fondness, sort of growing out of my skin. It's Beethoven out for a walk, looking at the sky, pondering his existence. I really get that ascension into the heaven and the stars and just the twinkly, I think they're stars. David Khrikuli, a Georgian pianist, came out. And I mean, this is going to be a taste thing, but for me, I'm very intrigued by this pianist. I was completely drawn in. Here's a man who can play with a true pianissimo. He played softer than anybody else all day, but even his softest had like different gradations to it. He had like 3 different triple pianos, and then everything spoke. It was incredible. He lives in this world of delicacy. And then the Scriabin 7th Sonata I thought was mesmerizing. Colors and range, the nuances that he played with, rhythmic too, not just random colors at random times, but suddenly this or suddenly that. There was fire, all these little creatures and the texture would emerge. Lots of subito pianos that just were out of this world. Just the way he carries himself, authority and poetry at the same time. Layering was phenomenal. Again, I mean, it's just, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like, is this the same instrument? His Liszt Horowitz 15th Hungarian Rhapsody just was pretty killer. I don't have much to say about it except wow. That was a big wow. I mean, I was doing this at the end. I had a real visceral reaction to his playing. I really thought that was quite something. I love Khrikuli's Brahms, especially all the interior movements of Opus 116. He'll do also things with timing where a voice will enter slightly early and the next note is back on time. Plays with polyphony, every voice is audible and has a role, and it's all very organic, the voicing is. Yeah, I think the the loss here is Khrikuli. I guess they're not rewarding 1,000 Shades of Pianissimo. We're gonna have to start a whole separate competition which just rewards the greatest range of pianissimos in history. But for me, that I don't know. Maybe it's not quite a Magdalene moment, but David Khrikuli played, went searching for all the sounds you've never heard before in Brahms Opus 116 that were really organic and subtle. But I guess it's possible to be too subtle for a competition. Love that guy. He and Magdalene, I had it as both the sort of, purveyors of dark magic. And I guess that's not permitted, It's like, it is like Harry Potter. There's certain kinds of, magic you're not allowed to practice or whatever.
While I was literally in awe of all the pianists I heard who made the competition something I could never dream of doing, I was especially impressed and moved by the pianists I just talked about. And while I do understand the jury decision on some of these performers who maybe had more up and down recitals, I was puzzled by especially the ousting of Mamora and Khrikuli, who I just thought were consistently interesting and nuanced artists. Perhaps Mamora had a few slips in the list, the costume, but they shouldn't have, and perhaps Khrikuli was too soft and subtle for the jury's tastes, although that's what made him fascinating to me. But both played with an expansive range of sound and organic phrasing and sense of form. Both were on my semifinal list, and I thought probably also deserved a shot at medaling. Hey, that's just how competitions go, and the truth is, we can never know the private values and motivations that individual jury members may have had. Each of the 9 judges submit a secret yes or no vote for the first round with strict constraints placed on their communication with each other or anyone in and around the competition. So while I question the judgment of these anonymous individual jury votes on purely musical grounds, of course there's other factors that will influence their perspective that probably come from the bigger industry of training and preparing pianists for concert careers. So I suggest we scrutinize those larger systematic biases that exist throughout the music world. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you hear what I hear in this group of pianists? Or were there other eliminated competitors you liked more who I left out? Meanwhile, there are 12 highly qualified semifinalists left with lots to offer, and I'm excited to turn my attention back to them.